The banker is supposed to be more credible than the drama teacher, but the math guy's math isn't mathing. Look, Carney just released his platform, his budget plan, if we can call it that, and it's billions of dollars worse than Trudeau's. Yeah, I didn't even know that was possible, but Carney wants to add more debt, almost $100 billion of more debt than Trudeau was planning. Look, over the next 4 years, Carney wants to run bigger deficits by billions of dollars than what even Trudeau was planning. Carney has zero plan to balance the budget. Okay, in fact, Carney wants to add another $225 billion to the debt over the next 4 years. Folks, that's almost $100 billion of more debt than what Trudeau was planning. And because of Carney's debt binge, he's going to be wasting an extra $1 billion every single year on interest payments. Now, folks, let's just think about how bad the current situation is, okay? In less than a decade, Trudeau doubled the debt. So all the other prime ministers throughout Canadian history added about $600 billion to the debt. Then Trudeau comes in and in 9 years, doubled the debt. In fact, welcome to Canada, folks, where every dollar you pay in federal sales taxes, goes to pay interest on the debt. In fact, the federal government is wasting more money on interest charges than what it sends to the provinces in health transfers. Okay, so we're already buried in debt. And now Mr. Carney comes along, who's supposed to be credible, and then announces he's going to add another $225 billion to the debt. That is not credible. That is irresponsible. And not only that, folks, Canadians want to put the federal government on a diet. Okay, the Canadian Taxpayers Federation just released some polling on federal spending. And by a wide margin of more than 2-1, Canadians want spending cuts. Okay, more than half of Canadians polled by Leger want to reduce the size and cost of the federal bureaucracy. And they are right. The federal bureaucracy has ballooned, it is bloated, it is out of control. Okay, in the last 10 years, less than 10 years, the federal government added 108,000 extra government bureaucrats. Gross. The federal government increased the cost of the bureaucracy by 73%. Now, unless you're taking a taxpayer-funded paycheck, there's no way your services from the federal government have improved anywhere close to 73%, maybe 73% longer wait times. So folks, Canadians want spending cuts. Canadians want the government to take some air out of the ballooning bureaucracy, and instead of cutting spending, Carney wants to add more than $200 billion to the debt. He's supposed to be credible. That's not credible. That is irresponsible. Folks, fight back by going to taxpayer.com.